Alright, welcome back to a round one game of GPR. We have Dravos versus Epid. So Epid is not on mono black mid range for once. Instead, they're on what deck are they on? Let me open up the deck lists.
5 color Thunder Road glitch ramp or ramp. I guess it's ramp.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it doesn't quite feel like ramp when you're playing against Verdant Sanctuary, Alexa, Jubashi, full on ramp.
Yeah.
But
Dravos keeps a hand with 4 lands, but the Pellweaver plus a Verdant Sanctuary. So yeah, that's an iffy keep, but I think I would keep this too because this is just so much ramp. Like you have your two pieces that you need to ramp super hard, which is a land, a card that lets you play extra lands, and then a card that gives you extra or gets you access to extra lands.
on the play, I think you definitely keep this. Just especially in this matchup where there's not really any way for Alexa to be punished.
Does Epid not have removal?
Not for that cheap, no. Yeah, I think you guarantee 2 pluses off Alexa on the play.
That's
I
nice.
guess there's technically like thriving bubbling turn 2 Thunder Roads or something, but
I mean, Epid might actually do that if Alexa turns out to be troublesome enough.
yeah, but don't have a Thunder Roads in this hand. Epid does keep a alright 7. It's very unimpressive,
Wait,
especially on the draw.
they're playing
But
Valdez main board. Excuse with this mana base.
yeah,
Uh,
that was fine.
Isn't it kind of hard to get turn one Valdez with this mana base?
I mean, I can pull up the deck list again. Your mana is pretty easy in this deck in general. Um, basically you're on 13 Black Sources turn 1, which is I guess technically short. That's not counting Mysterious Cataract fetching Township.
Ooh, Dravos plays Crumbling Shrine and flips a land off the Explore, which is not going to be very useful because you already have all the lands you need offered in Sanctuary. Meanwhile, Epic just plays a land and passes.
Yeah, not taking Bubbling there. That would have been the only like substantial draw.
Ooh, Druvaje is a really
Um,
good top deck. So I think we're going to
yeah, it is.
see exactly how this deck works this game.
It is starting to feel like Epid is being pretty punished for this base flow draw. Like L will help them to third land, and then they can offer you, and then they can Thunder Roads.
Yeah,
I guess maybe that's fast enough, but at the same time, Alexa and Subaji are incredibly fast when you have the lands with them.
Uh, well, it's going to be a nice comparison of the two decks because Epid's just casually ramping with Recall Forgotten Aeons. Meanwhile, Dravos is hardcore ramping with Alexa plus the Verdant Sanctuary. So
Yes, I
yeah,
do remember playing this deck against the previous version of your rap decks. I think that might have been I don't remember what version that was,
uh,
but I do remember just casting Thunder Roads and pointing Glitch Face a whole bunch of times, and
right.
that winning the matchup.
Well, yeah, the problem with this ramp deck is it doesn't actually win that fast. Wait, what? Oh, oh, I see. It's flipped off the Explorer. Never mind. Okay, so, I mean, you definitely bin this thing, right? You don't need a second Alexa.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you say it doesn't win that fast, but I mean, next turn, what? There's going to be a Shubashi, a Verdant Sanctuary, and like you're getting really close to Shubashi God mode.
Yeah, but
I don't
it still takes a turn for that to happen.
Yeah, but I'm not. I think Evan might be able to get there with the Thunder Road in time, to clear the Shubaji. But I mean, Alexa's also ticking towards null tier too. So
Yeah. Well,
just, I suppose you can threaten it with L, and then if Shubaji blocks, then you can Thunder Road.
Epid's gonna play the L here because they need to get their third land for next turn. So what basic do you get here? Swamp for Valdez, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it helps Valdez also gives black for Thunder Road.
You don't actually have white for Thunderbolts yet.
You don't, but don't think that would be a big deal because even if you don't find a white source off your next turn, you do have L to find a plains and then tap Thunder Road.
Tyrant Tributes off the top. That's a really good top deck. I think we're just gonna see a Tyrant next turn, assuming Epid doesn't do anything to stop the ramp.
Yeah,
Wait.
they did actually DM me like 5 minutes before the match and after asked if I had any advice, and I said to not get time fit. Uh,
Does Epid not run any counter spells?
no, I mean this is just pretty straightforward. You play a whole bunch of solid ramp pieces that do something else. So Throwing Building, L, Sangjin, Grade, Boom, Diviner, Ramsey, Arfi, which are all threats in their own right. and then you Thunder Road and glitch face a couple times.
Okay, Dravos play out Druvaji at first. I think they mis-sequenced because you're supposed to play Verdant Sanctuary first, and then plus Alexa, play out the 2 basics from Verdant Sanctuary, and then use those basics to cast Druvaji. So now you're gonna have to shock yourself in order to get the extra land drops. And I think Dravos realizes that they've mis-sequenced. Yeah, because also now that you're forced to play out lands from hand, you also have less things to discard to Alexa. Like that's one of the benefits of Alexa with the Verdant Sanctuary, because you use Alexa's minus to discard the lands that you don't need because you have Verdant Sanctuary giving you all the lands that you need.
So like in this spot with Alexa on turn 2 on the play, probably not getting hit next turn either. Is it at this point? Are you considering just like going straight for the Alexa ult, or are you still at this point thinking Alexa's minus oneing pretty soon?
I mean, you're plussing Alexa all the time, anyways. There's no reason to minus Alexa right now.
I suppose if Epid does hit a Black Source off this Arthi, they can Valdez the Tyrant out of hand,
Yeah,
and that would force an Alexa minus. Does that even stop the Tyrant next turn? It doesn't, right?
it doesn't. Yeah, Alexa minus, discarding Ramsey for a Tyrant.
Yeah, and you have exactly enough lands to do it too. Jeez.
Yep. So, red green wrap showing what it can do when all the pieces come together. But note that this is like 3 different cards. I mean, it's all 4 ofs, but still, you have to get all 3 cards, and then none of the pieces have to, and you need none of the pieces to get disrupted.
Yeah, absolutely. If Epi just like had a thriving building in turn 1, this would be a exceptionally different game
Or
because we'd be seeing a Thunder Roads
a
coming out
desperation,
this gen.
a desperation Thunder Roads.
Well, I mean, Thunder Road just straight up clears Jubaji and Alexa here.
Wait, can they command
Um,
Thunder Roads if they had Budling on turn 1?
uh, okay, they need to hit a oh god, it's been a while since I played with the stick mana. So Nebula obviously does it. Also fetching a Primal Dominion does it too.
Right.
Generally doable off and off here. So if it does hit a forest, so they can just off offy and play their swamp and Valdez.
Yeah, but they're gonna see a Tyrant Tributes and Alex on board, and then cry.
Yeah, probably not gonna be quite good enough.
Dravos congratulating
Um,
Epid for casting the RFE. You know, like Epid cast RFE on turn 3 to ramp by 1. Meanwhile, Dravos is on 6 lands already on turn 3.
I'm pretty sure at this point there's probably not anything Epic can do against Tyrant, just because Shibaji does will come in with the ultimate to make sure the game ends very fast. So there's nothing weird like managing to get up to a Thunder Road or anything like that. Because Epic will be going back down to 2 lands here, even if it's Sackdale.
Oh yeah, Epid's on odd number of permanents right now if they play the swamp. Yeah, that's pretty bad against
Yeah,
Tyrant.
I mean, you just kind of have to go for Valdez. I mean, there's nothing really else you can do here.
Yeah, low.
'Cause yeah, I think the logic here is you name low, so you hit Twisted Masterwork.
Right, because Tyrant's a 1 of that Dravos somehow managed to top deck.
Yeah, and also if you Dravos has Tyrant, then they can -1 Alexa.
If they
For
had
good pull on
Masterwork, they could
defensive
also
logic, I
minus
think.
1 Alexa though.
Oh wait, Masterwork's a sorcery now.
Yeah,
But importantly, they'd only be at 8 mana instead of 9. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, 8 mana instead of 9, so they couldn't also fetch Tyrant.
right. Okay,
Feeling
well,
that would give a bit time to get up to a Thunder Road to maybe salvage the game, but
Epid sees their doom. They got until they pass a turn to figure out what to say.
yeah,
Bravo says, "I'm fine with this." Is Epid fine with this?
I presume not.
Uh,
Definitely a bit of a rough game for Epid. Definitely could have mulliganed the opening 7 because turn 2 L on the draw is a very slow start.
yeah, I mean, it would have been fine against the control deck, but you're playing against ramp.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, maybe Dravos didn't like. I don't feel like Dravos would have mulliganed aggressively for early ramp, right? Like if Dravos kept the hand with that started ramping at
Well,
3,
no,
then
but the thing is that like there's one thing mulliganing thinking your opponent has Primal Surgeons, but it's another one. Oh, if they have an Alexa, I lose. Or maybe that's a bit too far, but um,
Dravos is already saying GG's. Hey, okay, Verdant Sanctuary at the top. So yeah, this is why Alexa is so good with Verdant Sanctuary, because you can discard the second copies. Anyways, Dravos is about to get all of their basics from the board. Also, a
yeah,
funny story about the deck. So for a while, I tried running 5 basics, but turns out 5 basics is actually too few, because with 5 basics, you consistently run out of basics in your sideboard. So I'm upping it to 6 so that at least I can get 2 turns of the double land drops from the Verdant Sanctuary.
it makes sense. Those restricts your sideboard quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, Epid just concedes right away.
I think that's fair. Because I think the Jubaji God is coming up next turn, right?
Yeah. Well, no, not
Well,
next
I
turn.
guess
The
maybe
turn after next turn.
wait, because you just have 11 mana, right?
You have 11 mana?
Because you plus Alexa, you go to 9. I mean, maybe you run over Verdant Sanctuary lands, I guess, but
Maybe. Oh, time to go to sideboarding. Let me just pull up the deck list window if I can find where that is.
so on Dravos' side, you maybe have Earthquaker Behemoth, I guess. I don't think you want Solar Flares here.
No, you Vault the Bird, Flare the Budling.
It seems like a bit on the slow side, 'cause especially on the draw. Like that seems like you're not really getting anywhere when your opponent's already cast it off you or Sanction or something.
Right.
Does give some life, so does help against Thunder Roads and Glitch Face. Um, on Epid's side, I think they mainly want Devastators here, just as a clean answer to Jubaji and Alexa
Right.
kills Primal Surjitsus and whatnot.
Actually, yeah, it does cleanly answer most of the stuff in the ramp deck. Do you want Slippery
Um,
Bunip just to counter, just so you have a counter spell?
I don't think so. I think that might be overboarding. Because like most of the main deck is pretty good here. Because like you still want all your ramp pieces. I mean, Rams isn't great, but it's like fine. It still ramps you on two.
Yeah.
Um, and Bunyip counters what
The enchantment?
Masterwork. Yeah, but, I mean it counts as enchantments, but I don't think you're really holding up on turn two for the Venom Sanctuary or anything. Um,
Yeah.
like it with on Alexa, so it'd just be for it mainly just be for Masterwork, right?
RFE, I guess. That too.
Yeah, I guess that's fair,
It hits Primal
though.
Resurgence too. Like that's also enchantment.
Well, okay, yes, but like, can you actually find the chance to do that? Practically speaking, probably not, right?
Hey, so sometimes I keep a hand with a tap land and Primal Resurgence and have the Primal Resurgence turn two.
Yeah, but not only that, but you need Evan would need to hold up Bunyip turn two as opposed to playing like an L or a Ramsey
Yeah,
or
I mean,
something.
they're probably not bringing it in, but it's fun to think about what contrived situations would make it worth it.
Um,
Like Seal the
yeah, I
Tomb
think
isn't
it's
actually, yeah, Seal the Tomb isn't actually good here because Rap no longer cares about only winning through the Coalesce cards.
yeah. I mean, just with a tutor package, seeing the Seal team is kind of suspect, especially with a Zubashi being able a good win con. So to like slow down rampant winning, you need to like hit Zubashi, which is hard to do. Even because you need to like kill it or discard it, which is non-trivial, and Twisted Masterwork. And even then, like whether you're beating the man lands, if you're siding against almost Seal the Tombs, it's not entirely clear.
Yeah. All right. Seems like game two is underway, and Epid has a much better hand this game.
Is it?
It's thriving Budlings. Like, what else can you ask
Yeah,
for?
but like you don't do anything else, right?
You have
Like you
Valdez.
don't.
You have thriving Budling.
Yeah, but that means you have to fetch a swamp, so you don't exactly have the colors.
You can help the top deck lands.
I guess. I mean, Amelie, the round deck isn't really punishing able to punish Budling because like if Dravos is solo playing, you're fine, and Jubaji comes down pretty late.
Epid does keep the 7. I mean, they're definitely not going to mulligan this. Like, take what you have. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. And Dravos
Uh,
also keeps their 7, which has a 1 drop and an Alexa.
yeah. So both. So Epid is looking for a ramp or lands, I guess.
Oh, Dravos top deck Primal
Dravos
Resurgence.
Travis is looking for action in general.
Yeah, but worst case scenario, you can just use Crumbling Shrine as a beater.
Yeah, Crumbling Shrine will definitely help. In general, the wisdom is that Screw beats Flood, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case in this matchup. I suppose. So on Valdez, do you name low here or high?
I think.
Presuming you're fetching Swamp here, I suppose.
Oh, well, that's
Valdez, your Swamp.
convenient. You usually name low because your opponent usually doesn't have a Seeker of Untouched Beauty in hand. Like this is the one time where Seeker of Untouched Beauty manages to block a Valdez.
Is there not any logic that, like, I guess you are wrapping reasonably fast with the double building, so if you do hit something, then it'd be pretty, you might be able to go under.
I mean, you name low
This name
anyways
low.
because all the ramp cards are at 2 or 3. So like it'll hit the ramp
Yeah,
cards.
I'm just thinking that you might be able to snipe a Shubaji or Offie here.
Well, I mean, it's much more likely that you snipe something that you don't care about, right? But in this case, Epid got punished
If you know,
because Dravos has
well,
the one of one drop in hand.
you always care about the high drops, right? Because you're not going to prevent them from coming down.
Right.
Whereas, like low, you might hit a Texas Verdant Sanctuary or something.
Good point, actually. Yeah. Maybe you should have named
Uh,
high there.
I mean, granted, Twisted Masterwork is a nice hit.
Dravos, that's Dravos is not even the amount of ramp that Epid has right now. Right
I
now,
mean,
Epid is out ramping Dravos.
they're
Oh,
going to be ramping the same amount by the end of this turn. Dravos does whiff on hitting a threat.
I think you need to get Alexa down this turn. So you have to waste a mana, and then you don't get to. Well, this turn you get to use Alexa to play a Crumbling Shrine and hope to hit something good. And then I guess turn
Yeah.
afterwards you fetch a Lumbering Hillock and go to town with your lands.
So Epid does have a reasonably good number of draws here, I think.
Okay, so Dravos is actually thinking about what to do because technically you can't mines Alexa to bring back a Seeker and then use the floating mana to cast it. It's probably a horrible play compared to just ramping, but it's something you can do. So Dravos has to think about that.
you don't have to think about it. You don't technically need to look at every possible option.
Well, but like this option isn't so blatantly bad that it's worth dismissing right off the bat, even if it is bad.
Is it not blatantly bad?
It lets you spend
Like,
all your mana. Like that's one of the main heuristics of what makes a good play.
but yeah, no, but you lose mana next turn, and you're not searching hard for your enable to Crumbling Shrine for your next draw step.
If Dravos does bring back Seeker, what will you say? Like, how will you react?
I'd just be kind of surprised because like Seeker doesn't like if Epid had like a threat that was threatening kill Alexa, sure. But I'm just kind of looking at this. I'm going, well, like it's not really any point. Like this isn't something I even like normally consider. I just go, oh yeah, what do you do with a turn to Alexa? You plus it.
Yeah, I agree, but apparently Dravos wants to go through all their options. Okay, good. They did make the correct choice.
Um,
Let's see what they
so
flip. Lumbering Hillock off the top. I mean, it does do something.
it does. So we'll see if Epid hits something good, or we'll just have to play Valdez here.
Well, that's definitely
That's
something good.
pretty good.
Yeah,
Might even let them Exavate optimistically lets them Thunder Road, right? If they hit a
right. Yeah, if they hit a
Nebula.
duel, I guess is Nebula
Oh,
their only duel in the deck?
I don't believe there's a white red dual land, so
Well, if they do manage to Thunder Roads, then that means they have officially ramped harder than the ramp deck.
yeah, I think that would also probably be game over.
Oh,
Just because the buildings would be get augmented and like six face Alexa dies.
yeah. I think we're about to see a very hilarious Valdez.
What's the hilarious about this?
Dravos has no discardable cards in hand.
Oh, okay. Falling down, yeah.
No, don't they have? They can use Thriving Building to cast Valdez, right?
Oh, true. Yeah,
They're gonna pinch nothing.
Jarvis doesn't even have pennies.
Yeah, Dravos is penniless because they spent all their mana or they spent all their money buying lands.
I was going to make a great joke about how Dravos is Canadian, but they're not actually Canadian.
Are they? What flag do they have? I should probably go check that, but I'm too lazy to right now.
USA, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Epid is
Yeah.
yeah. There we go. So Dravos, Epid names high. Dravos, they're definitely savoring the moment before revealing. I wonder what Dravos is typing right now. Oh, apparently, they're not gonna type anything. And yep, Dravos spent all their money on land, so they have nothing to discard.
Yeah, quite the unfortunate Valdez. Sangjin isn't the worst draw, that probably would have preferred a land.
Because the land might have won them the game.
Oh, yeah, if it was particularly Nebula. Well,
Uh,
uh,
I think you might want to mine Alexa now because you do need to play to the board somehow.
Mystique. I mean, at this point, to just like plus Alexa to try ult or something. Like, it's a far shot, but like,
It's gonna
you
get
are also
attacked
ramping
down.
towards. Hmm?
It's gonna get attacked down next turn, right? Because there's Sanjing and Valdez is coming down.
Well, yeah, but you don't know that.
Oh,
Um,
well, Dravos
and I mean,
decides.
you can't block the Valdez with Lumbering Hillock, right?
Right. Well,
There's a side to take back the Seeker, which is I think it's much more fair now than it would have been last turn. But
also, I guess
there's also
also plusing Alexa gives you way better top decks.
yeah, because you'd be untapping with I guess not knowing that Epid has a bunch of Thunder Rods in hand that will kill Alexa potentially.
I mean, Seeker
I guess
is good against Thunder Roads because if it dies, at least you get a land out of it.
yeah, but I mean
Uh,
it's also pretty sad against 3/4 buildings and Thunder Rods current
what?
face.
Excuse me?
They just paid a lot for that Seeker.
I think you might have overpaid for that, Dravos. But,
They just
that's not the right time to animate it, Dravos. You can animate at instant speed.
well, you know what is a good Thunder Road target? Crumbling Shrine. So
uh,
So Epid will be looking for a land here. I think basically any land they'd be happy with. They can also grab Dravos's Cataract from Graveyard, and
wait, Seeker is in one. Oh, Secret isn't now 3/3 because Crumbling Shrine isn't a land anymore. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not the right time to animate that thing.
Actually, I think that probably doesn't matter. I don't think Epid is gonna do anything great or anything in this long turn. But yeah, Dravos does has a Cataract in graveyard, which is able to fetch Epid's Primal Dominion to give them 5 colors for the Budling.
Well, they draw another Budling, so they still can't augment anything this turn.
Yeah, wouldn't need to draw something like I don't think anything would have let them augment with a Budling draw. So I think here you probably just play a Budling and pass, and then Sangjin end of turn to get back a Cataract.
Does Epid know about the Cataract play?
Uh,
They might just be blind to that because they're not really looking at the opponent's yard.
yeah, I mean, hopefully they will notice it. It's a definitely pretty heads up play. Sangjin hitting your opponent's yard is like not super immediate.
Dravos saying that Epid should stop playing lands, but you're playing lands too. What a hypocrite!
I think that might mean Budling. I mean, Epid has as many Budlings as either player has lands at this point. So Sangjin on Cataract, if Epid does notice it,
If they
patching Problem Dominion does give them 7 mana, which does mean they can augment Valdez or augment Thunderoids off of Valdez.
RFE, that's nice. So Dravos can basically play all the remaining lands in their hand this turn. They're gonna open with an RFE, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we'll take another turn or so to play out any threats they draw off this, but
So actually,
depending on what they draw, it might end up being pretty darn good.
so like if Dravos wasn't planning on attacking with the Crumbling Shrine, they probably should have tapped the Crumbling Shrine for a recall and then left the forest up because you might draw a Primary Resurgence and you might want to like get the Primary Resurgence mana right away.
Well, they didn't draw a Primal Surgeons. They drew
They
2 more
they
lands.
can minus Alexa to bring back RFE, then and then try again.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Let's see if Dravos
What's your
notices
boost
that.
cost?
What?
I presume you have like a shifting blade or something.
Uh, Lush Oasis.
Oasis, good call.
Yes. So let's see if Dravos notices that you can minus Alexa here. I mean, they probably should because they just minus Alexa instead of plussing last turn for Seeker.
Yeah, if Travis does take 1 more damage from a land here, they do die to double Thunderhead.
Is that something they're thinking about?
Well, I mean, they're not, but Epid might be. Because Epid will be able to augment both these Thunderheads off Valdez.
Right. Wait.
Actually, wait, no, sorry. They can do it. They can just win on the following turn if Travis takes 1 more damage here, because Climbing Building untaps and ends up.
Oh.
So you can augment both the Thunderhead off a single Valdez.
Right. Is there some way for Dravos to prevent that from happening?
No.
Does Epid have a guaranteed win?
If they notice it, I think so, yeah. Oh, well, if Dravos takes 1 more damage from Olandia.
They kind of have to because otherwise they're just doing nothing, right? They need to bring back RFE.
It's good that Epid has a potentially lethal line here because that way when they come running to me complain their deck is bad and they should have been playing the superior app deck, I can go, oh, you missed lethal, ha ha ha.
So what do you think Dravos is thinking about right now?
I mean, probably just deciding between getting back Offie or just plusing Alexa.
Is there any point in plussing Alexa? Well, they did it at least.
Well, if they plus Alexa, I mean, they don't have to take damage off lands, which is one thing.
But they actually thinking it that hard, or it's
I don't know. I mean, they don't. It's a true statement.
okay.
And I mean, it also does ramp them towards, say, Tyrant top deck or Twisted Masterwork top deck.
What mana are they at right now? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're at 7 mana, so they already have RFE coalesce mana.
Yeah, this would give them. But I suppose I guess it actually ramps the same, right? Because
yeah, but
Zoffy also ramps.
But you lose 1 loyalty off Alexa, which doesn't matter because you're never gonna like loyalty on Alexa doesn't matter in this matchup. It's always going to die in 1 hit or ultimate, but you get some extra cards off the RFE. I still think it's probably better or given what Dravos knows, it's probably better to minus Alexa and recast the RFE than to plus Alexa. But I guess it actually works out for them because now you're playing around the double Thunder Roads.
Yeah, also doesn't. Well, this line doesn't because Sangjin would put them in double Thunder Road range. And Sangjin also clears the Alexa here. So let's see if Epid ends up targeting the Cataract. They can really easily get bailed out if they target the Wayfarer Shrine because a lot of lands would.
They see it. They see it. They have guaranteed lethal now. Yeah, they take Cataract.
And hopefully this will be untapped. Yeah. Okay, they found it.
They found it. I mean, of course they did. They had the entire turn to find the line because Dravos was spending a really long time thinking.
Okay, they will need to find the end of turn building untapped. Though maybe that's probably a bit overkill, but
Hey, you want to win the game on the spot, then you should do that. I mean,
yeah,
actually,
but
no.
there's
I think it'll naturally come to them because even if they weren't thinking about previously, like the buttons will naturally untap, and then Epid will probably see the Thunder Roads being castable, right?
hopefully though is definitely something you can miss. Counter draw does mean that the rugged dominion line did absolutely matter,
Yay!
and
Epid made
this is
a good play.
and this is definitely where this deck feels just absolutely great to play with, because just like all your pieces are go absolutely nuts because you have the Valdez coming off of Adventure, then you have Thunder Road, and then the buildings untap, and oh, just for good measure, they also make mana twice because building is a great card.
Yeah, so game one, Dravos' deck got to do their thing, and game two, Epid's deck got to do their thing. So we're gonna have to settle in game three. Let's see whose decks gets to do their thing. Maybe we'll actually see the decks interact for once.
Yeah, and Epid's nice and careful about the mana situation. Always good to peek on this. Don't want to accidentally
Yeah,
not augment.
this is why I can
So
never
a
play.
million.
This is why I can never play a Thunder Roads deck because it requires too much careful fiddling. It's way too easy for me to accidentally mistap.
Yeah, it happens to you like once we accidentally do an augment and then feels pretty bad. Is this going face? Okay, and that definitely seems like Epid sees it.
Yep, Epid gets their
Um,
well-deserved win.
yeah. Also, in this situation, it's actually not possible to not augment your Thunder Road. That's with how the basic situation lined up.
Making copies of Thunder Roads just for posterity's sake.
I have to disagree with that decision because saying all face is what half the dopamine of casting Thunder Road is.
Sometimes you like to see the three copies of Thunder Roads. Like, sure, going saying outface, like dopamine comes from going tall,
All
but this lets you
you.
go. Okay, see, you this gives you the best of both worlds. You make the token copies, so you get to feel powerful going wide, and then you also get to say all face or all you, which means you get the dopamine of going tall. Is Dravos like gonna do anything here? Because like you can't respond to this, so like you just take the damage already.
Carlos is doing the Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm taking damage cutscene. Their life total dramatically ticking down. And then you get the gain 9 life too, just for good measure.
Yeah.
Untap the buildings, tap the buildings, Thunder Road!
Dravos completely missed that, and
And all you.
okay, now if it's not making the copies, I see mixing up your strategy to keep the opponent on their toes. So, I think Dravos could have won there if they top deck time tributes, right? And plus Alexa more aggressively.
Uh, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I think they had one turn. Oh, yeah, I guess they had all the turns they were drawing lands.
Yeah,
You find the tyrant.
did they have enough mana at the end to even twist a Masterwork for a Tyrant if they drew it?
I believe with Alexa, yeah. But presumably if Epid didn't have lethal there, the Alexa would be cleared out.
Yeah.
Surviving building is definitely a bit extra. Let's just put it that way. Doing interactions like this and Cransenberg and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a 1 mana 3/4 with upside.
Oh, I mean, a 3/4 is small for thriving building a lot of times. I don't know if I've ever gone it past. I don't know if I've ever got onto a 12 to 13. Definitely have gotten it to a 9, 10.
How did the
Um,
game not end by then?
well, I mean, it's chumpable. I mean, let's be fair. You can chump block it.
Okay, so let's see. Epid has a hand that has an iffy mass. Oh, never mind. Have Nebula. Yeah, they definitely keep this. Dravos, meanwhile, has a hand with turn one Prime Resurgence and nothing. And Ramsey, huh? But Silent Flourish. Do you keep this hand? Like, you
I think you
might.
definitely keep this if you're Dravos.
Yeah, you definitely keep this, but you run the risk of this whiffing.
I mean, do you? Like,
Oh wait, you have Tyrant in hand. Never mind. Yeah, you definitely keep this hand, and you just kind of hope that you draw mid game things as you go along, so that you can actually interact with your opponent, or at least do stuff
yeah,
in the mid
this
game.
is the type of hand where like every single drawing deck is good for you. We drop ramp, and then Tyrant is better. If you draw threats, then well the threats for your mana.
I can't think. I can think of a bad card to draw in this situation. That's
Or like Alexa, or
Become Untouched Beauty.
oh, I mean, I guess sure.
Yeah.
Game that's like okay.
I was about to say Reclamation Grove Sculptor, but then I realized that Dravos' version runs Silent Flourishing instead of
Wait,
Reclamation Grove
what?
Sculptor in the main.
Wait, hold on. Dravos just
What?
played a tapped.
Oh. Huh.
Are they being greedy for?
Oh
I think they're
god,
being greedy
no.
for Ramsey
God.
tokens.
I remember Dravos playing the original version of this deck with Pronouncer Preserves, and they were also making this greedy play, and I kept telling them, and I told them after the game that you should never do that. You should always go for turn 1 Primary Surgeons.
Well, and Epid grabs the Primal Resurgence.
God, why?
Heartbreaking.
Bravos,
No,
I thought I told you not to
yeah,
do this play. You always go for a turn 1 Primary Surgeons if you can, because even if it ends up with the same amount of mana afterwards, you still get better top decks.
yeah, just using your mana efficiently is always a good idea.
Yeah, like even if assuming you have like even if turn 2 is just playing Ramsey and nothing else, you still want to play Primal Surgeons turn 1. Just because you might top deck something, you might top deck a 3-drop, and then suddenly playing Primal Surgeons turn 1 is super good for you.
Yeah, because the alternative is that you play at turn 3, right? Which is really slow.
Oh no, the alternative is that turn 2 you play Wait,
Oh, if you're saying, yeah, I feel like it's even worse if you use the Adjudicate or to cast it.
well, I think Dravos is thinking of like turn 2, yeah, turn 2 play a Primal Surgeons and then play Ramsey off Primal Surgeons mana. So like, wait, there's literally no upside to doing that. Wait, what's
I
Dravos
mean,
thinking about? I guess they were using the
well,
extra
okay,
tap
okay.
land.
If you do get 2 life because you get to play the Timber. No, you don't, because the forest by itself casts a Ramsey.
Uh, like okay, so if Dravos played Lumbering Hillock turn 1 tap, then it would be at least excusable, right?
Well, no, because you play Forest and then you play Resurgence and then you can play Hillock turn 2.
Right. Okay.
I mean, they will
Hmm.
have time to draw out of it, because Epic doesn't have a terribly fast draw here.
Oh, and let they have like an entire curve in their hand. Okay, there's Thunder Roads.
Yeah, they have a curve. They don't have a bubbling. They don't have a Ramsey or anything.
Okay, but now Dravos doesn't even have a curve now. Like they have to spend next turn doing nothing unless they top deck something that bails them out.
Yeah, but they will have time. My point is more so that they do have time to pop back out of it. Because I mean, if the Bellas wasn't hitting Primal Surgeons, they'd be hitting Ramsey instead.
All right, what's a good draw for Dravos next turn? Uh
What I mean,
Primary Surgeons would actually be pretty good because that gets you pretty close to Tyrant mana if you top deck another land.
I think you're just looking for like 2 okay draws here. I don't think there's anything like as obvious the obvious great card here.
Right.
I think if you just draw like Verdant Sanctuary and Alexa or something in your next 2 draws, you're pretty happy.
That's unfortunate.
It would definitely be looking for actions instead of lands, so do have plenty already.
Okay,
So an epic thought.
So if Dravos played Primary Surgeons turn 1, it would be they would have access to 5 mana this turn.
No, because Ramsey would have got taken off the
Oh, okay.
Galdos.
Right. Okay,
So really, the only change would be that instead of Ramsey, they'd have a Primal Surgeons.
I think I
Um,
prefer Primary Surgeons. Actually, no, against
yeah,
Helen Devastator, somehow this play ends up being better.
no, better because like you do at least get to. No, I guess with a Scion in hand, yeah, I guess this ends up being better in a roundabout way because you can crack the Judicate for the Scion, and I guess that's like okay.
I mean, like,
I guess.
I'm assuming Epid wants to play Helen Devastator this turn, right? Or no, they
Well, they
probably
can't
play.
play it this turn.
Why? Do they not have mana for it?
+4, L doesn't ramp.
Yeah, don't they have a land drop? Oh wait, did it already play a land this? Oh, okay. I should probably look at the chat log.
Yeah, neither player has had land ramp this game. This is a merely bit of a weakness of the Falco list in that it is pretty reliant on bubbling to get fast draws.
But hey, the ramp deck is also kind of reliant on getting the pieces in order to get the mana engine going. Because if you don't get the
Yeah,
pieces, then this is what happens. You're stuck with
but
lousy 5-drops in hand and nothing to do with your mana.
yeah, the one like the ramp deck Dravos is on, that has Alexa on too. Okay, looks like Epid is going for Sanction.
Yep, seems like it. Unless they're like doing emergency thunder roading or something. Like they can't
Yeah,
emergency
they
thunder
could.
roads Alexa if they really want to. I mean, they can emergency thunder roads a field tender if they really need to.
Yeah, they're almost certainly not going to do that because they
Oof.
can just augment it next gen.
Yeah, this is not working out for Dravos. No, they can
Scion
play Scion.
forcing
Yeah.
does give them at least some play.
Is Epic gonna emergency thunder roads in response to Scion?
Almost certainly not, because there's not even like a good attack from Dravos. Because Ramsey gets blocked by the L, and they can trade off the antidote for the Sangjin if they
Yeah,
really want
you
to.
get 2 damage through. That's fine, I guess. I mean, Epic doesn't actually have an answer to Scion, right?
And just Thunder Road it.
Do they augment the thunder roads next turn?
Yeah, because Sangjin end of turn, and then Lesser Bloom
Oh, right,
crack the
that thing makes
treasure
a treasure. Yeah.
immediately. And then they'll even draw a card off the Lesser Bloom.
Darn. I feel bad for Dravos now.
Yeah, if Dravos did have a land drop remaining, this would be a lot scarier. For another counter, sort of be Ramsey and Antelope, sort of be a bit more of a threat, but definitely at one counter, it's much less scary. And I will say that that ramp deck doesn't ramp super fast without building. It is really hard to kill someone through a Luster Bloom Diviner.
That thing gains life, right? Wait, why?
Yeah,
Why does it gain
against
life? It's a blue red card. Why does it gain life? Isn't this a color break?
okay, but the thing is that what colors is it not in? Right, black, white, and green. Those all gain life. You
Right.
need 3 colors of mana to gain life. So thus,
Sure.
by omission, it's not a color fight break at all. Oh, I guess Sangjin can also just kill the Ramsey.
Yeah,
Uh,
that too.
that's nice and clean. Probably would have been a heads up play from Dravos to not attack with the Antopia,
I think you're
or not
kind
attack with
of.
the Ramsey here,
Well, no,
rather.
I think you're desperate enough that you should just attack with the or the Ramsey, right?
And just, well, I mean, at that point, you're assuming your opponent kept Valdez L like 5 lands or something, which,
Hmm.
I mean, I guess maybe you can say that Epid has a Thundered or something. Like has 4 Thundered, maybe.
Well, I mean, on the bright side, at least Silent Flourishing is more impactful on this board than Reclamation Groves or Grove. What's that guy called again? Reclamation
Uh,
Grove Sculptor,
well,
right?
it isn't because the thing is with Sculptor, you can hit off the hit all the colors off Nebula,
Right. Huh.
and like will give Epid 2 force, which are pretty known to not be good at augmenting Thunderbird.
Actually, yeah, maybe Dravos should have boarded in that thing just because it's a better. Actually, no. Yeah, you don't have that 5 drop slots to board that thing in.
I think maybe there's an argument to side out Scion, like that's just better than Scion, because I think it's really optimistic that you'd be able to kill Epid with Scion, knowing that the Luster
Right.
Bloom Diviners by staying in. I mean, Hellion Devastator absolutely clears up the board in a pinch, and just in general, Epid has a lot more play to the board than this round deck does.
Yeah. Also, the other problem with ramp decks is that if you don't ramp early, then your top decks are bad.
I think with the way that the deck is built, that's not too much of an issue because like the only thing that's not castable for Dravos at the moment is Tyrant, right?
Also, Big
Which is one
Slug,
of a big slug too. Yeah.
and also other
Um,
fire. Well,
is only 2 cards.
but like
Um,
Druvaji isn't great here because like you don't have extra lands to play.
well, it isn't. It isn't because just playing blue Subashi, playing at 2 fetch lands, and then threatening a demigod is a threat that you do need to kill.
Actually, Verdant Sanctuary would be a pretty bad top deck, I think, because you don't need extra
Okay,
lands at this
yeah,
point.
that one I will definitely agree with.
And that also
That is definitely a
that's also
flaw.
4 of, so that's plenty of chances to get screwed over. But
Yeah,
you kind of
I
need to
mean,
play 4 of that thing because you need to draw it early, or you need at least some sort of way of getting access to extra lands early. It could be
yeah, and we absolutely saw in game one that the card when it works is pretty incredible.
I mean,
So, what does Epid have in store for us this turn?
they're just going to
So
go.
I think the obvious play is just Luster Boom Thunder Road.
I think they're just going to make the obvious play, and then we're just double checking that they have the resources to make that play.
Like you can do maybe argue for some weirder things if you really wanted to. Like if you want to just be mean, you could just flip L and kill a land here. Not sure if
Huh.
I'd recommend that, but
You can also just
it's
go.
something you could do.
Can't you just go double Luster Bloom Diviner? Or does the
Yeah,
man
that's
not work
something else you
out?
could do. The mana works out, but you wouldn't get 5 color, so you wouldn't be drawing off them.
Right.
So you need to play blue, blue. You need to pay blue, blue, red, red.
Wait, they're flipping L.
Huh.
Huh. I guess they're just playing it super safe.
This seems like fine, I guess.
Maybe they didn't realize that Lesser Bloom Diviner made a treasure, so like they didn't account for that in their mana calculations. So they didn't realize they could Thunder Rolls there.
Yeah, I think it'd be more natural to Thunder Road the Scion and then use the Kayla's card advantage later on. Because there's some logic that like you do kind of want Thunder Road to go face in this matchup. Um, and like just going Luster Bloom plus Thunder Road clear the Scion is like not that high tempo, but like
Yeah.
also this feels definitely very slow.
Oh, there's Alexa. Alexa can get back. There's nothing it can get back.
Yeah, L does XL.
It's a pretty sad Alexa. Or no, this is sad. Alexa, play Despacito.
I was definitely thinking that as far as alternate lines go for Epid, that maybe there's an argument to go like Hellion Devastator plus Valdez.
When does Helen Devastator blow up?
Just the Antelope, and
That
but
seems
more importantly, you get to throw Valdez in.
yeah.
because I don't think you're very scared of Scion at all. And the thing is that tempo-wise, that also is like okay because next turn when you Thunderbird to clear the Scion, then you also get the attacks with Luster Bloom, or not Luster Bloom, Hellion and Sanction.
Wait, is it? I mean, isn't Epid at 10 life? Like, if Dravos has a land, or if Epid let Scion live, and then Dravos like top deck Alexa and then play 2 lands, then that's a pretty big Scion with trample.
Scion doesn't buff itself.
If you Aetherize it, then I think it does, right?
Oh, right. I mean, even then, you like, I guess you, I just Solar Flare, I guess. So, sure.
Bravos is just gonna minus Alexa in order to play Ramsey again. I don't think Ramsey is gonna do much in this matchup, right? Like, this is not a small guys or
I mean, it blocks stuff.
yeah, but like
Like,
the game isn't gonna end because your opponent's attacking with or because your opponent's attacking with a block guy. It's gonna end because your opponent Thunder rolled at you,
yeah, but it might end because of Thunder, it's because you didn't block that unblock guy.
right? Actually, this deck has no life gain, does it? Right? I
Well, I
remember.
mean, Tyrant is in hand, but more or less, yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
actually a
just a Solar Flares on board.
that's a pretty big weakness of this deck. Actually, like it has no ways to no incidental life gain, and it's pretty and uses life pretty heavily as a it face tanks pretty heavily as a way to not die.
I do remember that when I played what Epid's playing against, I forget what ramp
I
version
think I was out.
this
I
was.
was on Kalfu ramp with domain.
No, this was a while back
Okay.
when I was playing what Ep was playing.
Oh yeah, right. I remember now.
Um,
It was we were playing like I was playing a nerfed Naya ramp. I think right.
might have been before that. I think this might have been before Logger was changed even.
Really?
But I remember you and that one of the main differences from your league list to your GP list was including stand unassailable.
Oh yeah, right. I
I
remember.
think particularly for this matchup because I think I might have done it to you in multiple matches.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen glitch from Epid yet, but glitch is another thing that does an enormous amount of damage face. Especially because glitches chain into more glitches and Thunder.
Actually, yeah. Maybe Dravos should have boarded in Solar Flare just because it's life gain.
Maybe that feels a bit.
Yeah, like with the Verdant Sanctuary, you don't have room in the sideboard to run stand unassailable, so you have to make do with you have to make do by squeezing your life gain slot into the same slot as your small answers or small creature answer
What is
slot.
what's Epid doing?
Uh, I think
They
Epid's
feel
just hmm.
they seem really committed to not playing Thunder Road.
I think they just
And
don't.
I'm not sure why.
I think they just don't realize that Lesser Bloom Diviner makes a treasure on ETB. I think that's what's happening.
Why do think it makes it tapped or something?
Yeah, or something like
But like,
that.
even then, you can just go Buster Bloom. I guess the Val doesn't great with a Alexa play. Well, I mean, I guess you assume that Dravos won't land in hand, right?
Well,
Not
it's,
much else that they'd be sticking around with in hand.
yeah, I guess so.
But it does feel like it just playing Luster Bloom plus Thunder Road should enormously hack up the game to the point that even if Dravos does land this Tyrant, then it might not be good enough. And even if you just like, it's even just playing it off E, if Epid didn't realize that the treasures came in play
Okay, this
untapped.
is hilarious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Darn, it's one off. Okay, maybe Epid doesn't realize the Thunder Roads play for another turn. No, wait.
Like, okay,
Can Epid
I
kill
feel like
Dravos with Thunder Roads? Because if they can't, Dravos can top deck a land and slam Tyrant.
well, okay, but we need to be in a situation where not only does Epid not slam Thunder Road, but they also don't play Valdez.
Well, if they want to slam Thunder Roads, they can't play Valdez in the same turn, right?
Yeah, but I feel like if they slam Thunder Roads, they are like fine into a Tyrant. I don't even think they're losing that game.
Well, it catches Dravos back up because now Dravos can top deck into a win.
Yeah, maybe. But it is okay. Travis is activating Hillock, which is the natural thing to do, but will mean that maybe they're just rearranging,
Uh,
not activating.
oh, never
Or
mind.
they are activating.
Uh,
And this is definitely a natural thing to do, to the point where if they don't do it, then I think Epid has to assume that Travis has Tyrant in hand.
Yeah, but if you trade away the Lumbering Hillock, now your only out is further away.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's definitely not correct, but definitely feel like if you don't swing with Hillock, then
Well, Dravos makes the correct play.
Epid will probably Valdez. Not that Dravos knows that
Oh,
Epid does have Valdez in hand.
what happens if Dravos top deck Big Slug?
Uh, I mean that's obviously good for Dravos. If you're just saying that, like, I think they'd still need Tyrant to win. Like, I think just with Tyrant, they probably are even or favored. depending on what exactly happens on the Epid's turn.
I mean, big slug
Um,
gives them time to find a way to recur Tyrant, right?
yeah, but if
Oh,
Tyrant's taken off of Valdez,
Epid says blame purple for that. Blame purple for every deck I play in MSEM.
isn't that offy? You have to imagine one at Thunder Road or Valdez is being played here.
Yes.
That's a rug mana, so that's casting with offy and Diviner, keeping us on their draw seeds.
Is Epid going to realize that Diviner can make mana? Find out next time on MSEM GP coverage. Come on, like make a decision already.
There's Diviner.
Epid figured it out. Yay!
Yeah. So they're just gonna fire off the Thunder Road or
I think they're kind of committed to firing off the Thunder
oh
Rolls now because they realized they can do it. The thing.
yeah, definitely counting the mana. Makes it look like a Thunder Road. If Dravos does hit Tyrant next turn, oh no, the saying it's game, which seems a bit premature. They still do have a turn to find an untap land.
You know something else Epid can do? They can go Lesser Bloom into Valdez.
What? Okay. So I guess.
So that does get them Lesser Bloom triggers, and it also casts the Valdez.
Oh, yeah. So that's actually really heads up play from Epid. So I think probably caught on to Dravos not activating Hillock.
Then why didn't Epid like Lesser Bloom into Thunderbolts earlier? Because that would have been way more heads up, right?
Well, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily heads up. I think that's I think it was just kind of an odd play not to play Hellion. I don't think it was necessarily dependent on whether they knew Tyrant was in hand or not.
All right, so Dravos now needs
Um,
to top deck the Big Slug. That still might not even get them there.
yeah, I think Big Slug just doesn't really do enough here because like Big Slug arguably doesn't even kill through two Diviners.
Okay. You know what else Dravos can top deck? If they board it in Reclamation Grove Sculptor and top deck it here, they can turn off Augmented by hitting the Nebula.
Well, I mean, kind of, but I mean, Epid's drawing two here. They have two offies in hand. Like they can technically turn it off, but oh, Epid did bring in Silver Team, huh?
I guess it's also good against Twisted Masterwork because you try to Twisted
Well,
Masterwork something big and then you seal it.
yeah, but all your high drops are one-ofs.
Yeah, but like if it's in the yard and your opponent spends 9, or if your opponent
Wait, Masterstroke is X or less, right?
yeah, X or
It's not just
less,
X.
but like your opponent still spent 8 mana not hitting Tyrant.
I think that's fair that they still do get a big slug,
Okay, what if Big Slug is also in the yard? Wait, never
and
mind.
they still hit Tyrant. Off is something.
Might actually be enough. So if they top deck Primal Resurgence, they can actually make mana this turn. They can even make an Antelope from that.
Yeah, but feels like getting a single Antelope is not going to be enough.
They do have enough mana for Twisted Masterwork, or next turn they can Twisted Masterwork into Tyrant Tributes or Big Slug.
They need to hit a land, right?
Yes, so if they hit a land next turn,
Tyrant.
they can Masterwork for Tyrant. If they don't hit a land, they can Masterwork for Big Slug.
You can also just coalesce Offie. So maybe Epid didn't being seal the team for Offie. So
If Epid blows Steal the Tomb on RFE, if Epid blows Steal the Tomb on RFE early, then that means it's safe to Twisted Masterwork for Tyrant Tributes.
yeah, though at this point, Tyrant does seem a lot less winning because you probably don't hit that many lands.
Yeah. No, it's still fine. You wipe their board and you gain some life.
Yeah, but are you winning the late game if you don't have?
Like,
I guess you just like find more Twisted Masterworks
yeah,
to
if you draw an Alexa,
get back more
you
Tyrants.
can get back Tyrant.
Um,
Or if you get Draggy cards, so you have stuff to discard with Alexa. So the downside of playing this deck is that with Twisted Masterwork, you have to think really hard every time you have this card in hand because it presents so many
oh,
options.
boo hoo, boo hoo.
It's actually more.
I need to think about what it is.
Well, no, the thing is, it's annoying for commentators because now they have to watch the player tank as they consider all their options. And like here, you can twist a Masterwork for X equals 3, and maybe there's something that works. I mean, there is it, but Dravos still has to consider those options.
That's making me acutely aware that I don't think anyone's ever commentated on 8 sack.
No, Caillou commentated me on 8 sack once. It was like on my round 1 game against an Angel Pools deck, and then I don't think I managed to get the 8 sack combo off in either of the games. I just won by playing Dreamsight and then value grind them, or I guess I beat them down. Yeah, I won a surprising number of Dreamsight 8 sack games just by having Dreamsight in my opening hand or my top 2 cards in the deck, and then playing Dreamsight and then just overwhelming my opponent with cards. Like, no combo needed.
Yeah, definitely a good spot of any kind of spot. I was about to say incidental combo deck, but that's probably not a great way to put it.
It's a combo deck that has it's half combo, half value mid range beatdown with a 2
Yeah,
mana
because I
draw
definitely
5.
remember, like definitely with original 8 sack, there were a lot of games where it's like, yeah, just kind of played a bunch of 4/4s, and yeah, this Earthbreaker Behemoth is good enough. Could have guessed.
Yeah. Turns out Lager
Wait,
Recluse. Wait.
Masterwork is going for Zubashi, this looks like.
I guess not.
That's not the craziest line.
Is it? I mean,
Clears out the board a good bit if on the following turn, and then you have God mode the next turn.
think yeah, you just pass here, and then how much mana do you have again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have some pretty good. So if you top deck a land, you have a good masterwork target. If you don't top deck a land, then at least you have something other than a land to play. And your
Yeah,
opponent doesn't have a second Valdez to stop the masterwork.
I do almost like I do actually kind of like going for Zubashi here, just because you do also have the Offie in yard. But I guess if you demigod Zubashi and not Colossing Offie, that's fair.
Yeah. Also, you don't have access to enough lands to make use of those things. Like if you had Verdant Sanctuary in play, then I can totally understand going for that, but you don't right now. So even if you do coalesce RFE and then do stuff with Drubagia, not getting any value out of them.
So Epid has voices to me. I think I'm inclined to say the best one is just going lots of Boom Diviner plus Thunderer Kili board.
I'm inclined to agree, just because it'll simplify the game a lot more, so Dravos won't take so long thinking about what to do, because there's nothing to do. The board's empty. They're getting rid of the RFE right now, and they're going to see the Twisted Masterwork and be very scared of Tyrant coming down next turn if Dravos hops like a land.
Yeah, part of the suggestion of Diviner into Thunder Road is also that it gives you 2 more opponents in play, so you don't have to sack any lands to Central Tyrant. So that's probably more so
Okay,
a
let's see
commentary,
how Dravos
being
boarded.
precise.
They did bring in the Solar Flares.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, of course they brought in Solar Flares. They need some way to not die to Thunder Roads.
they cut what? Wait, did they cut a bunch of threads?
But they
Wait, did they cut Big Slug?
They cut Drubagia, they cut Big Slug. What else did they cut? Is this like on 3 or 2 Ramsey? I forgot.
Jaws is on 3,
Okay, yeah, they cut Ramsey, I
Dravos
think.
is
No,
on,
they have a
yeah,
Ramsey in
3.
play. What? I guess they wait. They're on 3. No, they didn't cut Prime Resurgence.
You just bought on 3 Solar Flare, right?
I guess they brought in 3 Solar Flares, cut Drubagia, cut
Wait,
the Big
wait, they
Slug,
cut Oathbreaker too?
and cut. I guess they did.
Hmm.
Well, hey, at least they did not cut Seeker of Untouched Beauty this time. That's improvement from the last time they played a wrap deck like this.
I mean, I feel like in this deck you just can cut Seeker.
You know what? I'm kind of inclined to agree. Like,
Like,
if I'm willing to go down to 1 Seeker, then Seeker isn't actually that important anymore.
because like you have the 2-drop Rampant Alexa,
Yeah.
and like Seeker's like not very good in this matchup. Pit decides to go for Harvey, finds a Wayfair Shrine that does have a Plains Fetch.
We're gonna see the Thunderbolts, right? Like, this is just not. Things are going to happen this turn, right? It's just not. It's not just gonna be a turn where if it draws cards and gains life.
well, okay, so Epid does know Masterwork is in hand.
Yeah.
So they can do some weird stuff to try and not have Tyrant be as significant. They can just like keeping Thunder Road to deal with Tyrant isn't crazy. Though maybe you
Right.
want to actually leave Tyrant in play so it can't get recurred, I guess.
I mean, you can just play Luster Bloom Diviner and make some tokens, and that decks your board against Tyrant.
Yeah, would have to sack basically entire board, but
But you're fine. You're drawing so many cards. Just refill. And your opponent can't because they're ramp decked with like no card draw. Because all the
yeah.
RFEs got exiled.
Yeah, I mean Epid does have 3 Thunder Roads and 4 glitches left in deck. So definitely drawing pretty hot here.
Dravos is going to trade.
That sounds good. Keeps permanent count lower for Tyrant.
Don't you want permanent count higher for Tyrant?
Well, yeah, but Sangjin's one of the cards that Epid would sack, right?
Right.
Um,
But
so that attack does make me inclined to think that this is either Lust Gloom or an Arfie.
I agree.
Uh, maybe just an.
Wait, is it going to be a Thunder Roads now?
I don't think
Nope.
Thunder makes much sense here
Okay.
because Tyrant does gain decent amount of life, and Lust Bloom is gaining 3 life and drawing card here.
Yeah.
And if it gains 9, this time not off Thunder.
And draws 3 cards. This time not off Thunder Road. Or this time not off reprising Echoing Knowledge to Thunder Roads. Okay, please top deck land here so we can actually see something happen. Because otherwise it'll be super anticlimactic.
If it hits a grade, which
Bravos decides to
is
fetch.
something.
Bravo, you want lands. You don't want to fetch beforehand. You need this to play Tyrant. Come on, draw land.
Yeah, definitely with how
Uh.
well that's 6 plans, Ricky, isn't it? Definitely with how Travis boarded Tyrant is the only real way to win. Does Epid have lethal
I think
with grade?
I think they just do, like, right?
Does what they're on 9, so grade for 6. So it's Exacxes.
Unfortunate.
If Masterbook doesn't. Oh no, sorry, it's not Exacxes. Hillock combined.
Maybe Dravos just masterworks from something smaller.
I guess grade into Thunder Road should win. 'Cause that's extra couple points of damage. But Dravos did side out like all the masterwork targets, right? So the only small is Jubaji, which isn't great because they fetched on upkeep.
Yeah.
It doesn't even kill the Devastator.
They're going offense now. Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like a futile attempt to do anything.
Would Big Slug would Big Slug have helped here?
No, I mean, if they hit, could they have Big Silk last turn?
I don't remember. Maybe did they do last
This is
time?
what that puts
I
them
already forgot by
to.
now.
I mean, they had 8 mana last turn, right?
Yeah.
They no, they just passed last turn, right? Because they were thinking on the Hillock attack.
Right.
No, they didn't.
Right. That was last turn. I
So
already forgot by now because Epid took so long on their turn. Okay.
So yeah, they would have been able to fetch Big Slug last turn. That like maybe makes it more of a game. Like I think Dravos would have like live top decks, but probably not that much of one.
Hmm.
Like it is just kind of more so delays till Epid draws a glitch or a Thunder Road rather than
Right.
Epid having lethal here.
Also, since the game ended without any of those cards being shown, can you tell the audience what Big Slug is and does, and what Glitch is and does?
So yeah, Big Slug is Tear of Shady Cove, which is 7 mana, 7/7 Death Touch. When it ETBs, target opponent sacks enchantment and a non-basic land and a artifact, and for each one they don't sack, you get a 3/3 Death Touch. And then Glitch is a 5 mana Planeswalker. The +1 makes 2 flyers, doesn't matter not too much. But the -3 is a draw 2 and then deal damage to any target equal to cards in hand. Which, as you might be able to tell, Epid's deck can have a lot of cards in hand. Glitch would be dealing like 7 or 8 here.
Yeah,
Um, and looks like Epid is playing grade here.
makes sense.
And
Makes
then
sense.
underloading for lethal.
Finally, it's 1.5 hours already. That's what the Carcass timer says. I feel like this game could have gone by a lot faster if the players played a lot more tightly.
Yeah, I think well, Dravos was kind of the victim of the initial Morgan plus the Valdez because I mean they still have the land ore from that turn two Ramsey,
Well,
so
I mean,
Prime was just would have been that big a deal.
if they had Primary Surgeons, they could have actually tapped the land for extra mana instead of having to hold it for mana, or like they
I don't think
this
they
wouldn't be one
had a
use.
chance to use it even.
Oh,
Evid, I think, definitely could have played cleaner. I think the L flip early on instead of playing Thunder Road was definitely a bit of a place that maybe it's just unfamiliarity, but L absolutely cleans up any game when you have low resources, especially against decks that can't kill it easily because you can flip L plus you draw two, untap L2 for Thunder Road.
wait. Do you think the reason Epid played so rarely is because they didn't realize that Prism Masterwork is no longer instant speed?
Uh,
Because that would make a lot of sense. The way they played, like they were trying to play around something that didn't exist.
like instant speed, big slug or something.
Yeah,
I feel like they would have played more proactively if Masterwork was instant speed, right?
maybe.
Because like if you're worried about big slug on end step, then wouldn't you be playing
Like,
Thunderbird just to have more life and
no, I think like they were worried
not
about
be as concerned?
Twisted Masterwork in response to them tapping out for Thunder Roads or something.
Yeah, but for what? There's only big slug, right?
Yeah, but
So
maybe
I mean, I guess like they didn't even like hold up Thunderbirds or anything.
right.
So though I guess maybe that's weird. I don't know.
Okay, I have no idea then. Maybe they just didn't want to end the game so early. They want to play around with their food before uh, finishing them off with the Xaxes, the big turn.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
wanted to
could
draw some
definitely just
cards
be.
before they'd rather draw cards than actually win the game.
I could definitely just be putting a very high value on Thunderbird and saying that no, this is going face. So I'm not going to use it to control the board if I don't absolutely need to.
They were
Um,
terrified of Tyrant Tributes because if they used
no, I think
Thunderbolts to control the board, then now they can't end the game before Tyrant comes down.
maybe because yeah, if they did draw another Thunderbird or glitch or something, then would have been a pretty clean end to the game. But definitely in that respect, it makes sense. Though Amelie playing like it did feel like they're playing a bit weirdly.
Actually, I can ask them right now in
No,
chat.
there's like definitely I think the Devastator turn was weird. I need to look back at
Yeah, I
the.
should probably look at the replays too.
So I think both the Devastator turn leaving up a mana felt a bit weird. As did the the L turn too.
Can't find where everything is. Oh, where is it? Yeah, there's Helen Devastator turn. I kind
And then L is the turn before that.
so that'd be like here. Come on, that's not L.
Yeah, I mean they do mention that it's just they didn't feel the need to,
Okay,
which I mean in general is fair.
because they were so ahead
Because
that that it didn't really matter which play they made. I guess.
yeah, though in a matchup where like time attributes is the main card you're worried about, giving opponent like playing lower tempo with that curl flip on turn 4, um, and then with the Hellion on turn 5, when you could be doing a lot more, feels a bit odd. Because I mean, you get the draw with the Lust Bloom Diviner, you start getting back up some life, or you get a ton of life off the Thunderous Diviner. I think you get to if you're landing next couple draws, you get to augment off the second Loss of Bloom and the Hellion Devastator. And even if you're like whiffing on your draw step, you get L flipped. So just like Thunder Road clearing the board for potential L flip later on is like another way to kind of go about winning the game. Well, like if they were down 3 cards in hand or whatever, and they just had Thunder Roads plus Luster Bloom, I think it'd be more fair. Playing L and just going for Hellion, playing kind of a slower game, holding your answers.
Epid said that they exiled with L because they didn't want Dravos to get the thing back. Alexa.
Oh, that's feels kind of weird, but sure. Because with Thunder, like they did mention, they didn't realize that Thunder couldn't change targets, but at the same time, you don't feel like you're too worried about Sign of Flourishing when you just gained 12 and cleared your opponent's board. But
Oh, I think we've done enough post game analysis. And with that, that marks the end of this round 1 game of GPR. Stay tuned for more.